Hey, Rise Up Writers community. It has been a long time since I've done any videos. Dan, I don't know which way is he on the video here. I recently sent an announcement out just in the community group, Rise Up Writers community on Facebook, that Dan King has stepped up to lead the community for a while. I'm in grad school. I'm crazy busy with all kinds of things, but Dan and I have known each other for several years, since 2014.
Been a little while, yeah.
14, I think.
Yeah.
So Dan and I met at Lady Lodge, which is a beautiful, beautiful place out in the hill country here in Texas, that I was able to go to this small writing retreat, and we met back then.
High calling, right? Yeah.
What's that? Yeah,
with
the high calling.
The high calling, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few people in the group too. I think Ann Croker was part of our team.
Yep, Ann Croker was there. Jennifer Lee was there. Chris Camille was there. It was small, but it was so beautiful and amazing. And we all of us who went miss it, and those who didn't get to go and hear about it wish they would still do it too. Yeah. So Dan runs FistBump Media, which I'll let him talk about a little bit. But when I chatted with him back then, I needed to find some hosting, and so I ended up hosting with him because several of my friends were doing their WordPress hosting with him, and he was talking about how he kind of managed the site, and I was like, yep, need some help. I can't figure out how to even go with these other companies. So I have been with him ever since then for my personal website. And when Rise Up Writers started to grow, and a couple years ago, we set aside, made our own website and social media accounts that were separate from my account. And that was a really exciting step for me, for Rise Up Writers to kind of come into its own and build this community and create a place that is a collective space for writers to learn from one another, to encourage one another, and just to grow together as a community. And so Dan has watched me do all of that. He has hosted the Rise Up Writers website with FistBump Media. And I'm going to go ahead and let him share a little bit more about who he is and some of the exciting things that have happened in his life, maybe in the last few years.
Sure.
You know what I'm talking about.
So I'm really excited to be here. I've just telling Jolene too, I'm just such a huge fan of this community and what she's been developing here with Rise Up Writers. And when she started talking about backing off and even reached out to me about maybe even dropping the website, I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow it. No, we cannot do that. So I'm really excited to be a part of this and stuff. And I know some of the people in the group, I mentioned like some of my old high calling friends, like, Ann Croker and all those guys stuff, right? A lot of them know me. I've been a big part of the high calling for a long time when several of us were doing that. And that's since transitioned to, I think, the Theology of Work project or something like that somewhere. But yeah, I've been a writer blogger myself for many years. Started out doing it as my little side gig, as I served in ministry in the church and teaching and studying theology a little bit myself. It was my way to kind of work out all those ideas. I've self-published a book. I've traditionally published a book. And, so I've been down a lot of this road. When I got downsized from my old corporate job is when I look at, about 7.5, 8 years ago now, when I look at the best thing I had going for me was the stuff that I was doing online. So that's when I started FistBump Media. And we do all that, the website hosting. We help build websites, and but really, I think with FistBump Media, if I kind of sum up what we're about, is I like to tell people the beautiful story in the Bible where the Israelites are fighting. I think it was the Amalekites and stuff, and Moses up on the mountain, right? And as long as his arms were up, right, they're winning the war, and he drops his arms. Eventually Aaron, helps lift up his arms. I kind of feel like with writers, bloggers and stuff, I'm the Aaron to your Moses, and I get to be a part of a lot of really cool work that people are doing, so to kind of be a technical support in the back end and everything and help with the website for Rise Up Writers, that's one of the things. That's, you don't always see my name up front or anything like that too, but I'm back there making sure it happens, and helping people with their books and whatever and stuff. So it's really cool. That's kind of really what we're about at FistBump Media, is just kind of being the Aaron to your Moses, and helping out in any way we can to help you accomplish whatever God's putting on your heart to do and share. So that's one of the reasons I think I believe in this community so much, and why I could not see it falling away, going away, or anything like that. Jolene, I know you mentioned things that have happened in my life in the last few years, right?
Yeah.
I'm married to be 21 years next month. Got 5 kids, 2 biological kids. Actually, both of my biological kids also have type 1 diabetes. So some needs there and stuff too. But three adopted children out of 2 separate adoption scenarios, both out of foster care type situations and stuff. We have a little girl we've had since birth. She's 5 years old now. And then just in the last couple of years too, we adopted 2 boys, half brothers, that have been with us now for 3 years now, I think. So, but yeah, they're great. We love them. They always keep our life exciting and active. Everything else,
yes.
With all this coronavirus and stuff, they're here all the time. Actually, I don't know if you saw it, Jolene. I just did Bring Your Child to Work Day. It was April 23rd, right? So, I went to the website where they kind of host the whole Bring Your Child to Work Day thing and stuff, and coronavirus is breaking out, and they're like, it's canceled this year. And I'm like, no. So
we're doing this. They're here. They're with me.
My kids are home anyway, and I work from home. So yeah, we brought them up, and we had a day, and they took over my social media accounts for the day and stuff too. So yeah, they had a lot of fun with that, but they definitely keep life exciting and fun and interesting all the time. So
yeah,
sure.
And I wanted you to bring that up just because I think that's an important piece of, just this whole piece of who you are, Dan, is not just running the FistBump Media, but that you have also helped bloggers for so many years. So you understand the blogging world. Your Christian faith is something that you're passionate about as well. Just like, the writers of Rise Up Writers. And then, kind of both of us having this connection to foster care, and we had fostered, as you know, and when we met, I think I had just been home for a little over a year from our foster care situation. I was still dealing with a lot of trauma and depression and that type of thing. So it is a lot of work. It is a lot of work, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 12. It is, and one child can be like 5. It's a lot of work, but it is, it's precious kingdom work. And so I appreciate that is part of, you're more than just FistBump Media. And I want the community to know that here, because each one of you has, well, each one of you guys as writers and Rise Up Writers, that's part of the heart behind this, is that we are unique individuals, but we all have similarities in the writing world. We also have unique passions, and we're not just the work that we do. We are so much more than that. And part of my passion for that is developing who we are as individuals, so that God can use our words and our spaces online, so that we're not stepping back in fear and not doing the work that God's called us to, or saying, well, mine is too similar to what somebody else is doing, so I can't do anything. Well, no, it's not. Because there really is, I'm sure you've heard it before, there really is no one that is you with your unique story. And so again, that's one of the reasons I wanted to just get more of that full picture of Dan and welcome him into this community as a leader. And I am going to be mostly in the shadows, but I will step in time to time as time allows, and that really is dependent on grad school and the bajillions of papers it feels like I have to write these days. But I already looked at my next 2 courses, and I'm like, whoa, it's a lot of reading and writing. So, but my heart is still with this community and the desire to grow in both practical and spiritual ways. And I love that Dan has more technical experience. And I also, my individual stuff is emotional health stuff. And so even in the things that overlap between us, or the other people that he may bring into whatever he, does to help grow this community and develop the people that are there, we all have different talents that we get to bring to the table. Yep. And it makes a better picture for all of us. So.
If I could, I want to piggyback on something you said too. I love that you talked about how really how everybody's voice, I think, is important and stuff, right? One really quick story, and I love to share this. My first book, my self-published book, The Unlikely Missionary, I remember scouting out reviews and stuff like that as they come in. And I had gotten a review at one point from somebody who rated it 1 star. And the review basically said, this story was not worth telling. And I'll tell you, that crushed me, right? But then right around the same time, I get an email from a reader, and you know, and of course I get encouragement from the people who know me and stuff too, but this was a completely random reader that I had no connection with. And I dug to try to find a connection and stuff from everything that I could see. But I got an email from a reader who said that they had gone on their very first mission trip, and they read 3 books to prepare for that trip. And one of them was from, and it was a mission trip to South Africa. One of the books was from Nelson Mandela. One was from Bishop Desmond Tutu, and one was The Unlikely Missionary from Dan King. She told me the one that prepared her the most for that trip was my book, you know?
Wow.
And listen, you know me, Jolene. I'm not saying I'm not a, you know, Nelson Mandela or Desmond Tutu or anything like that, right? For sure. Far from it. But to know that my story has impacted people and stuff, you know, it's kind of like I look at that one review and put it in perspective and go, you know what? My book never has to be a New York Times bestseller or anything like that. It accomplished everything that it was supposed to accomplish and stuff. And I know it's encouraged other people and stuff too, you know, but yeah, I love that because I definitely operate under the mindset of, man, everybody's story matters. You know, it doesn't matter how big or small you are or anything like that. Your story matters. And as a community, if there's anything that we can do to help you, you know, get your story to reach who it needs to reach, you know, I think that's a big goal and a primary objective there. So for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And use your voice the way that God has given you to use it. And sometimes, you know, I think that part of the writing journey is a way to just develop our voice. And it may be for a big crowd, it may be for a small crowd, but that's part of the spiritual journey that we each get to go on by not giving up and by valuing the story, because we value what God has given us and the path that he's taking us on, wherever that ends up.
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, I'm super excited to see, you know, what happens with Rise Up Writers in the coming months or years or whatever happens. We all just kind of go forth and see what God does. But super excited to have Dan King here. And I know you guys are going to enjoy having him in the community. And I look forward to just seeing more engagement in the group. All right. Take care, everyone. Fist bump, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.